Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. Thank you, Ansel. Focus on me. Today we have a documentary about the film West Side Story. No, not the original. Technically, it is. But it's mainly about the one that came out in 2021, directed by Steven Spielberg, screenplay by Tony Kushner, starring Rachel Zegler, Ansel Elgort, Ariana DeBose, and of course the great Rita Moreno. So yeah, this is this is just basically a 40-minute documentary. It came out in 2021. Just I love these behind the scenes things, even if it's not like, oh my gosh, it's not Star Wars or Marvel or anything else. It's not the kind of thing that I necessarily am the biggest fan of. I enjoyed this film. We looked at this. I saw it for the first time on Disney Plus back in November, I believe, and I enjoyed it. I don't know if I can't remember if I have a strong memory of the original at all, because I did have a girlfriend for a time who liked watching a bunch of musicals, and we would watch them, sort of. But yeah, we would watch them, and I can't remember if this was one of them. Either way, I enjoyed the reimagining. Don't call it a remake. This is very much a reimagining, and they very much make that point that this is not meant to be, oh, let's just do what they did last time exactly. Obviously, the original film from 19. Well, I can't remember, it's in the 60s. It's an adaptation of the Broadway musical from 1957. So yeah, there's a lot of elements taken from both of those. But what's different this time around, of course, is Steven Spielberg directing it. And two, there's actual representation of actual Latin actors in the roles. Yeah, go figure. And they aren't heavily... their skin isn't heavily darkened in order to make them look more Latin. Even Rita Moreno, who is Puerto Rican, had to have her face darkened in order to look more Puerto Rican, or at least to create a standard look for everybody in the Sharks side of things. If you don't know what the film is all about, I'm going to do this real quick, because honestly, you should go watch the film itself or watch my review of the film from back in November. This is just it's a modern retelling set in New York City, the west side of New York City, in the 1950s. Or actually, yeah, 1950s. It's a remake of Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet. It's two young lovers who are forbidden to be involved because they're very different cultures, they're very different people who seem to be at war with each other needlessly, but have their own problems with people who are not them. And beyond the dealing with the racism and everything else, and this is very much a modern take, and in a time that we are still very much divided along the lines of race and along the lines of seeing people as invaders who are immigrants, and also just being territorial. I mean, this is very much a film about the young ethnic whites, Polish and Italians and everything else on the Jets side, that are very much losing ground in their own neighborhood due to the demolition that's being taken place to build the Lincoln Center. So a very real place that is in New York City. Used to be a very Puerto Rican neighborhood, a very Latin neighborhood, just very regular, not rich people neighborhood, let's just say that, back in the 50s. And this new version is very much set against that backdrop, and you get to see from the very first moments of the film how everything was working out for everybody, and that tends to raise a little bit of tensions. Not everybody there is pretty much poor. It's just a slightly different color, different shade of skin that separates them. And what can bring them together? Well, maybe love. Does it all have a happy ending? Well, you have to watch the movie. Romeo and Juliet end well? Yeah. Anyway, that's about the movie itself. What I enjoy about this is seeing what the work people went into in creating this world, taking over literally that section. There's one part in Harlem where Broadway cuts through Harlem that they just sort of remade into the 1950s. It's kind of neat how the actors talk about their experiences stepping back in time on that, and also just talking about the casting and how they got their roles. And of course, there's a moment toward the end where Rita Moreno and Ariana DeBose both just sit down and talk to each other about the character they share. And Anita, it's Anita, right? Yes, Anita. Anita. My brain's not good. But yeah, it's... Now, if it was a weird Star Wars name, I would have remembered immediately. Ponda Baba. I'll remember that name for the rest of my life. But Anita is something I apparently can't remember. But I did. So... in this sense, you get to see the two women talk about how they handled their role and how it was very different for each of them in very different eras, 60 years apart. It's kind of fascinating. And for people who are not really interested in film and actors and how the sausage gets made in Hollywood, yeah, it's just not gonna be your thing at all. You don't really care. You think they're all pretentious and annoying. No, that's your loss. But it's just definitely. I mean, yeah. It's an effects. It's not an effects-driven film, but there's effects, that take place in this. But it's not the focus. It's the people, and it's talking about the cultures and everything else that's reflected in this, and why they made the choices they made in revisiting this story. Why did Steven Spielberg do it? Well, you have to watch to find out. Why did this middle-aged... Well, is it middle? He's older. He's the guy who made Indiana Jones and Jaws and E.T. and Schindler's List. Why is he doing a West Side Story? Well, he talks about that. And Chris Cornell... not Chris Cornell. Is it Cornell? Why can't I say his name? It's not here. He used to be an MTV news guy. It's kind of weird to see him in this, do these things. But anyway, I suggested for anybody who loves these kind of movie making documentaries. This is fascinating. It's short. It doesn't go super into depth, but it is mainly focused on the people that brought it to life, and the music and the history behind it all. The history to me is the most fascinating. It's just how things have evolved since then, and how, everybody sees Hollywood as super liberal and everything else. Hollywood was just as crappy as the rest of the planet, especially in the 1950s when it came to race and things like that. Yeah. Charlton Heston once played a Mexican man. Yeah. Go figure that out. In a different movie, not this one. But yeah, I say check it out. Let's pick tomorrow's episode.
529.
529. I get tagged because that sounded so much like the real thing. 529. Hey, we're back to our alternating. Maybe our alternating between shorts and stuff. Tomorrow is a short. We have 529, right? Man, my memory sucks. 529. We're visiting the Toy Story characters in this short. It's just a bit of an episode. It's probably episode length. It's not like a 5-minute short or anything. It's a little bit longer. I think this aired on ABC TV at one point. But this is Toy Story of Terror. Yeah. All right. A little bit early for Halloween scary type stories, but yeah, it's Toy Story, so it's not that scary. All right, tomorrow we're watching Toy Story of Terror on the next Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that. Bye.